Apologies. Damn, I forgot my mic was muted. Anyway, we're talking like tripping. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Instant Replay. This is the Sunday pregame show. I am solo today as my co-host, my prestigious co-host. V is he got to work, man. Got bills to pay today, bro. Got bills to pay. Let's see. Hey, what's good? What's good, man? Appreciate you. Appreciate this. Yeah, appreciate you jumping in. Again, Sunday pregame show. We got this today's show gonna be full. All right. Obviously, we try to get this thing done by at least 10 minutes till the games kick off at 1:00. But how about them Cowboys? Hey, man, they did their business, bruh. They handled business, man. I'll be talking about it, man. Go Pack, go. Hey, appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yes, indeed. Like I said, I was starting to say, full show. Let me get this background music up in here. We got a lot to talk about. Obviously, when it comes to college football, the CFP final rankings or sort of the semifinal season-ending rankings will be like Tuesday, but like we still have the conference championship games to go this weekend. So I'll give my thoughts on that. Obviously, if you've been watching this show in any capacity, you know how I feel about the conference championship game. And with that being said, Georgia made it back to the SEC championship game. A lot of games happened yesterday, a lot of close things. We're going to talk about that. And the Thursday games, man, the Thanksgiving games did not disappoint, bruh. We saw some nice football on Thanksgiving. Got ourselves a nice Black Friday game between the Eagles and the Bears. Hey, man, that game next weekend, Sunday, 4 p.m. Let's see if it gets moved around. I don't think it'll get moved around. It's still too early in the season, I think, for them to be moving games around. But 4:30 next week, Packers, Bears. It's gonna be something to behold as that game approaches. And we still got a full slate of Sunday games to talk about, man, to give our game picks on. So again, like I said, full show. Let's get things started here. All right, so what we're gonna do is, man, we're going to jump on college football real quick. As we always do, we start the show with some college football with some of these things that is happening on. Get that up there right now. And obviously, I'm going to start with my boys, Georgia. Let me get this thing pulled up here. That one, and let me get that up here. All right. Anyway, Georgia Tech, obviously it's a rivalry game. 16-9 was the final score. I can deal with that. Georgia Tech always comes with it. If you can remember, they mentioned it about 1 billion times during Friday's game that the last year's game went to 8 overtimes. That is not something fun to watch. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now. Everybody loves a good overtime game until it keeps going to like that. And we know Georgia ultimately pulled it out. And then this year, obviously, 16-9, Georgia Tech came to play. Their defense came to play. I thought our offense was a little off. Gunnar Stockton a little off. And it's kind of, hate to say worrying, okay, when it comes to the Dogs. Hate to say worrying, but where we thought we were going to have some weeks off until bowl season came around, until the college football playoff started, because of winning. And this, let's just get it up here, man. Let's just get it up here. Okay, obviously, like I said, 16-9 Georgia. But because of this score right here, shouts out to Texas. What a good way to bounce back. They had some, I mean, look, we clapped Texas up, man. I'm not even gonna try to sugarcoat that shit. We had, Texas had an up and down season. They lost opening game against Ohio State. Obviously, Ohio State's still number one and they're undefeated. So that still looks good on their resume. Don't know exactly if Texas is going to make the playoff. We'll have to wait and see with that. Definitely not in the SEC championship game, but they beat Texas A&M. Texas A&M was undefeated. Something just seemed right for the picking with that game. As you started to watch the game, it just seemed as though, Texas was like, what do we have to lose, bro? While Texas A&M pretty much had everything to lose. A berth in the SEC championship game, a perfect overall record for the regular season, which they'll probably still make the playoff. That's obvious. They're ranked number 3 now. We'll have to see where the rankings come when they find out. But because of this game, after Georgia got finished with Georgia Tech, after that game was over with, I was sort of the mind that we're going to have a few weeks off, right? We got a couple things coming up, championship conference, championship games this weekend, the Heisman coming up soon after that. And then when the CFP started, we see some action from Georgia, right? Get some healthy players back, you know what I'm saying? And then this happens. Texas A&M lost, which gave Georgia a shoe-in spot in the SEC championship game. Now, if you've been watching this show in just a recent month, right? If you've been keeping up with us as we go live, when it comes to the SEC championship game, I'll give you a bit of history. I know there was a post that somebody posted even before Georgia played Charlotte last week. They said, here's the scenario for Georgia to make the SEC championship game. And the first comment that I saw in that post was, hey, as a diehard Georgia fan since whatever year, they've been a Georgia fan for a long time. They said, I'm kind of good on the SEC championship game. And I agreed. We talked about it on the show, me and V. I said, I'm kind of cool with that, bro. Like, give us the CFP. We've won a few SEC championships in the last year, but we also know what the SEC championship can do to you. Now, I do think Georgia, regardless of what happens when it comes to that shit, is still going to be in the CFP. We're still going to make the playoff. But right now, we're sitting at a first-round bye. If we weren't playing in the SEC championship game, if Texas A&M had won that game and they were playing Alabama, we'd still be sitting at a first-round bye, even after that was done. Because if Bama were, if it was Bama, Texas A&M, and Texas A&M lost that game, then we would shoe up another spot because. Now, I do believe that Georgia will probably move up because they were 4, Texas A&M lost. So I think we're going to move up in the top 4. And look. After it's all said and done, bring it on. I have no other choice. I'm a Georgia fan. We're playing Alabama again for the second time this season. Out of all the things that have happened in the SEC this year, Oklahoma playing well, all these other schools, Texas A&M having one loss, all of that being said, 2 of the OGs in the SEC is still in the SEC championship game. And so last year, while we played like a newcomer Texas, this year it's Texas or it's Georgia, Alabama again. Georgia just finished playing on that same field on Friday. So we'll see what happens, man. But again, as I go through this SEC championship game locked up for next Saturday, can your boy get a break, by the way? Can I get a break? Already this Thursday, Thanksgiving, the Green Bay Packers played against a division rival, the Detroit Lions, longtime rival. Then on Friday, Georgia played its rival of rivals, Georgia Tech. Survived both of those. Survived, bruh. And then next week, on Saturday, the rival of rivals to Georgia in the past, 15, 20 seasons, we only beat them a handful of times, is Alabama. And then on Sunday, as a Packers fan, as I get prepared for Sunday football, the rival of rivals when you're talking about Green Bay, the Chicago Bears. We play the Bears next Sunday, 4:30. My weekend, I'm going to be high. Stress levels high, bro. Stress levels off the top, off the charts for next weekend, right? Let's get into some more of this, man. I'm talking about myself too much. Let's get into some of these teams. Let's talk about some football, all right? So anyway, Georgia Tech, I already talked about that game. Georgia put up 13 points, no points in the third. Georgia Tech's defense played a good game. It's a rivalry game. They came with it. At the end of that game, I was still a little like, they came with it. Indiana, Purdue, 56, number 2, Indiana. They shall stay number 2 against Purdue, 2-10. They moved to 12 and earns Big Ten title game spot with 56-3 win at Purdue. I would say Indiana's playing Ohio State in the Big Ten, right? I guess that had to be the case. All right, anyway, Texas A&M. We talked about that game, 27-17. Ole Miss, Mississippi State, 38-19. The only thing I'll say about this game is, obviously, there are the rumors and there's the talk that Lane Kiffin. Y'all give me just a second. I apologize. I apologize, y'all. Again, with this cold weather, it brings your boy has the sniffles just all winter for no reason. Not even sick or anything. Just nose won't stop running. Anyway, Lane Kiffin looked like he might take the LSU job. I had already given my opinion on that matter. I thought Lane Kiffin should stay. LSU already has some footprints there. Nick Saban, Les Miles, Ogeron. Those cats have already cemented themselves. Who in Ole Miss history as a coach has cemented themselves? Ole Miss doesn't have a natty, man. He could have brought the first one there, get a couple of good recruiting classes more, because he got some good. Look, Ole Miss is nice. They had some, of course, some hard games against some strong SEC opponents, but they still got good talent. In a couple years, he might win in one. And then Lane Kiffin could be that guy for Ole Miss, who's the first one to bring a title. And we talked about it early in the season. I would hope he wouldn't bail. I would want to make my footsteps at Ole Miss, where nobody else has laid those footsteps before. But obviously, I am not a head football coach in college football. And so Lane Kiffin, whatever the decision is, whatever happens, he's probably going to go there. It's going to be a record contract to LSU if indeed that's what gets announced tomorrow. And look, Ole Miss, man. Ole Miss is going to make the CFP, bro. Is he not going to coach that game? I mean, come on, man. He has the opportunity here. I know there's a lot of competition on the board in the CFP, but look, again, if I am the coach of Ole Miss and I took them to number 7, they have one blemish on their record. That's Georgia. There's opportunities for a future here. But I do understand that LSU also has a sort of funnel of talent that comes because it's LSU that Ole Miss is never going to get to because they don't have national titles and because they don't have SEC championships. I get that. I 100% understand that. But if I'm Lane Kiffin, man, myself, I'm like, yo, I'd like to make my footprint like where nobody has made a footprint before. And that's at Ole Miss. So anyway, let's keep going. Utah, Kansas, 31-21. Arizona, 23-7. All right, Saturday's games. Ohio State, Michigan. Ohio State pretty much dominated this game. However, I will give my thoughts on the play. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. It was a touchdown pass that he was bobbling the ball as he entered the end zone and he left the end zone. He was still bobbling the ball. My ladies and gentlemen, that is what's called a touchback. That's a fumble out of the end zone. That should have been called. It should not have been a touchdown for Ohio State. In my personal opinion, that should have been Michigan ball, and we'll see how they adjust after that play. But again, my thoughts on the most controversial, the biggest play from this game right here, this particular game, Ohio State, Michigan, was that touchdown pass that literally he did. I think neither one of his hands were on it for like a second as he rolled through the end zone, which in my personal opinion is a fumble. So let's move on for that one. Ohio State undefeated. They'll stay number 1. They're going to the Big Ten championship game against Indiana, which should be a nice one because those two teams hadn't played this year. That should be nice. All right, Texas Tech over Virginia, 49-0. Texas Tech continues to roll. They will be in the CFP. Oregon, 26-14 over Washington. They should be in the CFP. Oklahoma, 17-13 over LSU. I think they should be in the CFP as well. Notre Dame, 49-20 at number 9. Obviously, no conference there to win. I think that they should be in the CFP. I know there's a lot going on with that. 21-41 BYU. Maybe they make it, maybe not. Miami, who is number 12 right now, but I think they are the highest ranking ACC opponent, but they're not going to make it to the ACC title game, I don't think. So there's 38-7. Vanderbilt 45 over 24 Tennessee. Vanderbilt still with an outside chance to get into the college football playoff. Pavia should be there. I want to see Vanderbilt in the playoff. I do not know if they're going to make it. But I know one thing. I better see Pavia sitting in New York next Saturday or the Saturday after next. I better see Pavia sitting in New York in 2 weeks. If I don't see Pavia sitting, I don't think he's going to win the Heisman. However, I'm going to tell you what, he's been one of the best players in the country the past 4 weeks of the season. I'm going to go ahead and put that out there. Didn't make the SEC championship game, but they went into Tennessee, their nemesis, their rival, and clapped the cheeks off them cats. Right? So, like, Pavia, while I don't think he'll win the Heisman, it'd be nice to see him win the Heisman, but I don't think he'll win it. I better see him there. I better see Pavia sitting front row with a suit on, with his parents, his mama back there in the crowd. I better see Vanderbilt's head coach, sitting over there giving talks about some funny Pavia stories. You know how they do on Heisman Saturday. They get the coach up there. They talk about memories and things like that. I better see Pavia up in there because what he did with this game proved he belonged. All right, let's keep going. USC 29-10 over UCLA. Virginia 27-7 over Virginia Tech. Obviously, they're waiting on James Franklin, new guy. He was their new head coach for next season. 38-35 Cal over SMU. Yeah, SMU, that's hurt for you. Here's a game where I was talking about Tulane making the playoff, right? It looks like they might make the playoff. This is the team, Charlotte, that Georgia played last week. Mind you, we let Charlotte score 3 points. Tulane held them to scoreless. Tulane, I think they dominated Charlotte better than Georgia did. Now, again, I was on Georgia's ass after that game, and of course, B gave some counter spots and part about not wanting to show too much and things of that nature. Y'all, 35-3 was the score when we beat Charlotte, and then Tulane turns around, the number 24th ranked team in the country, and beats them 27-0. Again, these are why I get so worked up about some of these games, man. But that's it, man. That's college football. Let's see what we're looking at here. Rankings. I think let's see, college football rankings, playoff rankings. Let's see, AP top 25. Georgia stays at 4. Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M. All right, 11-0. All those teams. Indiana. That's good. That game. Let's look at the schedule for next week. Hold on. Let me look at these conference championship games, bro. Let's look at these conference championship games real quick before we move on to the NFL. All right. Let's see. Friday. College football schedule Friday, December 5th. No, it's there it is. Indiana, Ohio State, Big Ten championship game, ACC championship game, Duke, Virginia. If Duke beats Virginia, the ACC likely won't even have a team in the college football playoff, bro. They likely won't get a team in there. If Duke beats Virginia. Now, Virginia wins, I think they might get up in there. Obviously, Miami of Ohio, Western Michigan, Texas Tech, BYU for the Big 12. Let's see, Boise State, UNLV, North Texas, Tulane. Tulane wins that game. They should get themselves a spot in the playoff. And yeah, man, those are the games coming up this weekend, man. Conference championships galore in this motherfucker. All right. Let's see. Again, Auburn, man. Talking about that Auburn-Alabama game, dude. Auburn had some opportunities, bro. They had some sure enough opportunities that I'm like, yo, the one pass that dude hit his hands and popped up and got intercepted, they were driving on that play. They scored a touchdown that was called back for illegal, illegal formation. Plenty of drops. The fumble that sealed the game for them right there at the end. They were driving the football, man. Those are things that cannot happen. So while Alabama comes into the SEC championship, both Georgia and Alabama, I don't think played well at all in their rivalry games. I don't think they did. They both came out with the W's, but I don't think they played well at all. So as they both come into this, honestly, I bet you if you can get some honesty from either one of these squads, they would say, yeah, we'd rather not play this weekend. Get us ready for the CFP. And I know Kirby in the press conference says, what, does SEC championship games not matter no more? Let me tell you something. It did when there was a 4-team playoff. Now that there's 12 teams, bruh, when it was 4 teams and you played in that game, if you lost, you could get booted out of there. Now that there's 12 teams, I think it doesn't – we don't need it to stay in the playoff. So why even play in this motherfucker? Against Alabama, dude. Again, not scared, bring it. I'm not, by any stretch of the imagination, am I looking at this game talking about like, yo, we need this game. This is our opportunity to get back. I realize that if we hadn't made this game, there's still an opportunity if Alabama made the CFP for us to play them again down the line in a more important game. But it is what it is, y'all. It is what it is. All right, so the SEC championship game is set. Also wanted to bring this up. This was a nice ass. I thought this was pretty dope. Where this thing at? Oh yeah. I thought that was pretty dope. So again, like I said, SEC championship game set Saturday around 4 p.m. Eastern time. Georgia, Alabama, a rematch from week 4 this season. And again, it's the same details too. Same details. Georgia and Alabama both were coming off a bye week. Y'all give me a second, man. My nose. I need to start taking something to dry that shit up. Anyway, but like I said, the first time these teams met, both teams came off of a bye. This time we played on a Friday, they played on a Saturday. We both have about the same number of days to get prepared to that. Georgia has one extra day, but I don't think that's going to matter in the end. So yes, SEC championship game, Georgia, Alabama, Saturday. So that's going to be nice to see. That's going to be nice to watch. It's going to be incredibly stressful. I can guarantee you that. But that's the way it goes, man. That's the way it goes. All right, let's get these up here. Obviously, if you look at the scores on instant replay scores thus far, We got the Packers, Lions, and Packers won the game. I'm going to go over these in a second. Cowboys, Chiefs, Bengals, Ravens, Bears, Eagles. They won the game too Friday night. Clap the Eagles up. This is so far. Here's the picks. There's B's. Rest of his picks, I'll give mine in just a second. As I wait for this thing to load. Let's see, championship gauge. Got to come play offense. Come on, bro. Excuse me, y'all. I'm having some technical difficulties when it comes to the internet being really slow right now. All right, let's see. See if I can get this thing going. All right, so obviously this thing is going to act stupid for the rest of the time. All right, give me just a second, y'all. Give me a second. All right, and so I can't get this to pull up. All right, give me just a second, y'all. I gotta go do this. Oh, damn. I want to use that one, but they acting stupid, so here we go. All right, here we go. All right, get this thing pulled up here. All right, here we go. So Thursday games, Thanksgiving games. Hope everybody had a nice Thanksgiving. I enjoyed mine. Obviously, the Packers won, so that started it off with a great win. So let's go through these real swiftly. Packers, Lions. Packers played a great game. Lions did as well. Obviously, I'm in Ross St. Brown for the Lions. Goes down early in the game. I don't want to hear no whining and crying. We lost Tucker Kraft for the season, and he was our focal point. As a matter of fact, you can look and tell that it took the Packers a couple games to come back from that. So sucks for them, but obviously injuries are part of the game. I thought the Packers played a superb game right here. The defense gave up some stuff, but when we needed them to shut them down, a couple nice sacks from Michael Parsons on Jared Goff. Defense was all up in Jared Goff's face. The Lions, obviously, Gibbs and all of them guys are fucking beasts. They made this game close, but I thought, obviously, look, the Lions are going to go for it on fourth down. That's what they do. The Packers game plan coming into this thing, LaFleur said it was, we can't be going down. We can't be going 3 downs against a team that goes 4 downs when it comes to offense. So obviously they went forward on fourth down a bunch, converted a lot of those. Jordan Love had a few touchdown passes on fourth down, which was absolutely incredible to see. And the Lions fought, man. The Lions fought. The Lions have a massive game against the Cowboys coming up this Thursday. At least they have like a full 7 days to get ready for that. The Cowboys do as well. They both coming in this game with 7 days, getting ready for that. So again, the Packers, I thought they played their asses off in this game, and Jordan Love was nice, couple nice-ass passes, couple dimes. The first touchdown he sent was a dime. Those 2 fourth-down plays were dimes right there to Romeo Doubs and sort of going towards the corner of the end zone for those touchdown passes. And I think he's catching fire at the right time of the season. Go, Pack, go. I'm going to be on that. Cowboys, Chiefs. Let me tell you something. Chiefs, first of all, Chiefs. Y'all hurting, bro. I don't think I'm going to see y'all. While I do think Patrick Mahomes played a tremendous game, he has the past few weeks. I think the team around him is not the same. The squad around him is not the same. And the Cowboys defense that everybody liked to clown. And look, let's be clear. Early in the season, the Cowboys defense was bad. They've been pretty damn good the past few weeks. They've held, and to hold the Chiefs to 28 points, the Cowboys at home on Thanksgiving handled business. I thought, at the end of the first quarter, it was 14-7. Cowboys fans getting a little restless out there in the crowd. Cowboys scored 10 straight in the second quarter. Then the third quarter put up 3. Obviously, the Chiefs made that run. They made that second half run in the fourth quarter, scoring 2 touchdowns. But again, it just wasn't enough. The Cowboys defense were able to hold them at bay. A couple fourth down stops from that defense as well. And again, look, watching it, Patrick Mahomes doing his thing. The rest of the team just not able to do some of the things that they're accustomed to seeing him doing. A key sack here, a key pick here. A key fourth down conversion by the Chiefs offense there. It's just not happening for them this season, right? They're struggling. And so, right, that might be the nail for them. They have to win out all the rest of the games, which would put the Chiefs at what do they got? 5 games left? Yeah, it would put them at what? 11-6 if that were the case right there, and maybe that might be enough to make the playoffs. But again, they still have to win the rest of the games, and they play a hard schedule. And the hardest one, I think, for them is if they have to win all the games to make it. They play the Raiders week 17, bro. The Raiders week 18. Week 18, my bad. The last game of the season. The Raiders could be out here looking like, hey, let me spoil your milk for you, bro. That could be the case. Not saying it will be, but because if the Chiefs lose another game before them, I think they're pretty much done, unless a lot of other teams just fall apart around them, which is hard to see. Bengals, Ravens, welcome back, Joey B. Welcome back, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow was slanging that thing. He returned to the field after missing every game since week 2 with the turf toe injury. Came back, was running. I seen him, dude. He looked good. And the Ravens, lots of turnovers. Lamar Jackson doesn't look like himself. I am in agreement with most professional people who do what I'm doing right now and saying that I feel as though Lamar Jackson might be hurt a little bit. I think he might be hurt. I think he might be hampering that little hamstring, and I think he doesn't want to injure it further. And so that's why, I don't know. He just doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem like the same Lamar Jackson. And obviously the Bengals, look, we all know what the weakness on that team was not the offense, but the defense. I mean, in Joe Burrow's absence, Joe Flacco was out there clapping cheeks, bro. We saw it. Everybody saw it. So the Bengals, the receivers on point. I think, obviously there's a lot of talk about the investment. Look, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, that investment was spot on. They got paid a lot of money, and they have performed up to that pay. The defense was the thing that I thought, that everybody thought needed a little bit of love, and I think their defense played a pretty good game, man, against the Ravens of all teams. And Joe Burrow, since he's been in the league, has historically makes it sound like he's just against the Ravens. He's played really well. He's clapped the Ravens up pretty good. So the only thing surprising about this is that Joe Burrow hadn't played a game since week 2. All right, and the Friday game, the Chicago Bears doing their thing against the Philadelphia Eagles, clapping the cheeks off the Eagles in Philly at that. So big game coming up this week. 9-3 Chicago Bears. 8-3-1 Green Bay Packers is coming up. But the Eagles, man, Chicago Bears just did their thing. Nice offense. Defense stopped them. Couple turnovers charged. And look, man. Look. The Eagles, bruh. Some tough going coming ahead. And look, man, it's crazy to say that considering the Eagles have beat a lot of teams this year that were nice. They beat the Chiefs. They beat the Packers. They beat the Lions. They beat all these teams, right? They come out and they played some good football. They beat the Cowboys, lost to them a second time, but in consecutive weeks they lost to the Cowboys and they lost to the Bears. And the Bears have come out here and they kind of taken care of last 2 Super Bowl teams, man. So look. I'll tell you this. That game next week is going to be nice. I cannot wait. I want to see where my team is at. As a Packers fan, and I'm sure Bears fans feel the same exact way. When it comes to next week's game, I want to see where we at. I want to see, because yes, we beat the Lions, but we beat some other teams out there. But this is going to be the navigator. Because of the Bears right now. Besides the Rams, they're at the top of the NFC right now. I think they're second place. They're above the Eagles. I know that. They're at the top of our division. I know that. They got a nice young quarterback. I know that. Their defense takes the ball away at a prolific rate. They lead the league in takeaways. I know that. Next Sunday, man. Next Sunday will be the game. Next Sunday, expect me on this very show, the pregame show at 12 noon next Sunday, to be a little, your boy going to be a little cautious, a little hype, getting ready for that one. But again, shouts out to him, man. Take no respect away, even though I hate those motherfuckers. The Bears, 24-15 over the Eagles, man. Over the Eagles. All right. Let me pull this back down. Let me get this pulled up as I finish doing the game picks for this week. Week 13 game picks, Sunday pregame show. Let me get these things up here. All right. So these picks are in, as you can see them right there. Rams, Panthers. I'm going Rams. obviously there's just no way. I thought the Panthers might be on a run, man, but the way they lost to the 49ers was troubling. 49ers, Browns, or the way they lost to the 49ers, my bad, the Panthers. Give me the 49ers. Let's see. Texans, Colts. Give me the Texans, bro. Best defense in the league. This is the first of two, right? Keep this in mind. The Colts still have to play the Texans another time this season. This is the first one. So let's see. Saints, Dolphins. Oops. Give me the Dolphins. Falcons, Jets. Give me the Dirty Birds in this motherfucker. All right. The Cardinals, Bucks. This is give me the Cardinals, bro. Give me the Cardinals. I think the Bucks are nice, but man, I don't think Baker. Obviously, I didn't talk about that. Baker Mayfield hurt his left arm or shoulder last week. So Jaguars, Titans. Give me the Jags, man. Let's see. Vikings, Seahawks, man. Give me the Seahawks. A lot of that. Hold on. Give me the Seahawks. Obviously, when it comes to that shit right there, Raiders, Chargers. Give me the Raiders, bro. Nah, you know what? Give me the Chargers, man. Give me the Chargers. If the Raiders do pull this one out, he'll get one up on me. But I think that's a bit much. The only one game that I think the Raiders are really going to be on point for this season, I just talked about it. Me and V actually talked about it, is this last game against Kansas City. Because if they need that game, they have the opportunity to do something crazy. Broncos, Commanders, give me the Broncos. I see no way in hell. I don't even know damn. I don't even know if he's going to play. Giants, Patriots, obviously Patriots. Give me that right there to round out. So there, man. And again, hold on, let me pull this down. I forgot to put teams on bye up here. And they don't even have it on here. See, this is why I don't like it on this shit. All right. Anyway, let me see. Y'all bear with me just a second. Oh, okay. So there are no teams on the bye week and week. Okay, no one. When I was putting that together, I realized that I feel like a dumbass now. So there are no teams on bye in week 13. You just seen our game picks. I'll pull them back up real quick. Next weekend there's going to be 4 teams on bye, and that's going to be the final bye week of the season. All right, if I could pull this up real quick. As you can see, our game picks. Obviously, the picks are in for this first 4 games, and then the slate starts at 1 o'clock. Let me do something real quick. Let's see if I can get something. All right. So that's pretty much, man. That's the show. Let's see, Barry. Yeah, I talked about that. Look, man, the season's moving along swimmingly. I have had some heartbreaks myself. I know a lot of teams out there will be hoping for something more. Give me just a second. Apologies. I had that shit muted. Apologies. I'm back. I had to blow my nose. But anyway, I was just trying to get up the inactives that we look at every day before we wrap. This is for week 13, obviously. This is for the first slate of games. They don't put out the second slate until 3:30 or whatever. So healthy scratch pretty much. QB Stetson Bennett, Jaquez Hunter, Darian Kendrick, Deshaun Johnson, third. He's an emergency third QB for the Rams. Stetson Bennett is Panthers. J.C. Horn, Hunter Renfrow out. Christian Roseboom, Cam Jackson, the 49ers. Jordan James, Connor Colby, Jordan Watkins, Kevin Gibbons. That's a couple of the players that's out for the Browns. Jamari Thrash, Brendan Bates, Cornelius Lucas, Zach Zinter, Alex Wright, Aiden Huntington. So obviously the 49ers looking pretty healthy for that game. The Houston Texans, obviously one name missing from the inactives is C.J. Stroud, who will be playing today, making his return off concussion protocol. Braxton Berrios, Graham Mertz, Jamal Hill, Jared Kingston. For the Colts, Jonathan Edwards, DJ Giddens, Eric Johnson III, Will Mallory, Luke Tenuta, Ruben Lowry. For the Saints, Hugo Amadi, Alvin Kamara's out today, John Ridgeway III, Christian Boyd among a few Dolphins, Twin Ewers, emergency third QB, AJ Green III, Andre Carter, Matthew Butler. The Falcons, Kadero Hodge, Drake London is out again for the Falcons, Josh Woods. Against the Jets, Jarvis Brownlee, Khalil Herbert, Jelani Woods, Tyler Barron. The Cardinals, who is out, Amari DeMarcado, Hayden Connor, Max Melton, Elijah Jones. For the Bucks, Connor Bazelak, Luke Haggard. Oh, okay. So Baker Mayfield must be playing for the Bucks. Okay, he's not on the injury report. He's not inactive today, so we'll see. Jaguars, wide receiver, Diami Brown, Trayvon Walker, Patrick McCarry, to name a few. The Titans, Mason Kinsey, Jalen Almere-Davis, Jarek Reed. All right, the late window, obviously you can see the Minnesota Vikings, Raiders, Buffalo Bills, Broncos, New York Giants, or Minnesota Vikings, Seahawks, Raiders, Chargers, all of those. Those will be out. So check your, whatever you check for NFL news, check that before those games going. If you're a fantasy player hardcore and you're trying to check for those inactives, those will be announced later on. So anyway, I appreciate everybody who watched. I'm about to go try to get me a little bite in before the 1 o'clock games kick off. Kick back and relax since the Packers are done. I don't have to worry about Green Bay this Sunday. The Bulldogs already played as well. So I get to watch some stress-free, worry-free Sunday football out here, right? That's what's up, man. Look, real quick, I'm going to go back and see if there's anything I missed as far as news goes. Let's see. Let's see. Lack of injuries and monitor cards. Bucks QB running back, both expected to play. Bucky Irvin and I just seen that. Okay, good news to see. NFL has a new wide receiver 1. Will Myles Garrett break career sack record? That's just something else to be on the lookout for. Myles Garrett is out here clapping up pretty damn good. Let's see what they got today as well. So, all right, y'all. Hey, oh shit, a lot of comments. Let's see. How about them Cal? Go Pack, go. What up? Hey, y'all, you all right, bro? You all right, bro? Next Sunday though, it's on. Yeah, hey man. Hey, bro, what's good, Joey? Appreciate you hopping in, but it is a rather massive game next Sunday, bro. That game is fucking. It's for the lead in the division, and also probably up, to get yourself up to the top of the NFC rankings anyway, where the Rams are sitting at right now. Cry, Eagles, cry. Yes, y'all clapped them up. I already talked about y'all. Gave y'all some mad respect for what y'all did, and going into Philly and clapping them up real quick. But yeah, like I said, I'm about to go grab a couple bites, fix me a drink, get ready for football. Go watch me some Red Zone, stress-free today. You know what I mean? So everybody out there, like I said, I appreciate everybody who tuned in. Appreciate everybody who watches every week, and we'll be back Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern time. Maybe Monday night. I think we might end up moving that show permanently. And we might end up moving the Monday show permanent because Monday Night Football sort of kind of gets in the way. We'll just see how that goes depending on what kind of hours we have to work. But again, like I said, B had to work today, so he wasn't able to attend. But get this turned around. So again, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend. Enjoy the games going on today. And we'll see y'all, man, on Monday night. Peace out.